Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to yet another episode of Voice of Basai by Krishi Jadhav. And today we have with us a very young, a very talented, and a very energetic young lady with us, Nidhi Lahoti. Nidhi, welcome to the club.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nidhi Lahoti happens to be the daughter of Vinod Lahoti, also the CMD of GeoLife. And what made us want to interview her and also wanting us to have her share her views is that she, at a very young age, is heading GeoLife Youth Club, which is primarily responsible for training or extending education in the rural parts of India, if I'm not wrong. Right, Nidhi?
Absolutely right.
So, Nidhi, welcome to the show, and may I request you to add upon anything that I may have missed upon, and please.
Sure. Thank you so much. So I'm Nidhi Lahoti, as mentioned by Sir. I'm the daughter of Vinod Lahoti, and a few things about myself. I'm a 19-year-old, and I'm pursuing BSc Biotechnology from Mithai College in Bombay. And I have immense passion for biology and chemistry, and which is why I've chosen this field, and I'm trying and building my career around this. I've done a lot of research work, and I'm trying to learn more. And apart from this, I've always had a lot of passion to give back to the society. There's always a lot of empathy. And since I've always been very inclined towards education, good academics, good learning, and not just academics, but holistic education, overall development, to fill the gap between college campus and corporate campus, I thought there are a lot of NGOs who are doing educational stuff, academic stuff, but why not give something that helps shape the potential of a child, that gives a way to the child कि ये ही मेरा सही career option होगा. This is what exactly is the right choice for me, because I believe if you're following your passion, there is no way that you're not going to achieve success. But if you are stuck somewhere which has been chosen by somebody else, or which you've chosen a wrong path due to limited knowledge, then I think the progress rate is slower or sometimes very stagnant. So if you're following your passion, I feel you can reach great heights. So this kind of facility is widely available to a lot of people in the urban areas. There are career counselors, guidance, and everything available. But I wanted to make this available to each and every child in India, each and every student in India, to empower the youth, because Modi ji always says that future of India is in the hands of the youth. So why not channelize their potential into the right direction, into something that they're good at, so we can reach great heights together as a country. So this was the whole idea, and I had a lot of passion towards this, and again a lot of ideas and support from my parents. They helped me formulate something that that can help me as well as other students to understand what their true potential is. So because of all that, and combining my interest in education and holistic learning, we have developed GeoLife Youth Club, and through this, I hope to enlighten minds of students and give them the right direction, that is the right choice for them in their life.
Very well said. Very impressive. Just one question. When did you start GeoLife Youth Club?
Okay,
Which
so
year?
right now I am in the second year of my graduation. I started this once my board exams of 10th grade were over. That is when you do a lot of research, career counseling, and you talk to a lot of people who have experience to see what exactly is fit for you, science, commerce, arts, what you should be doing in your life. So that was a whole time in my life where I was doing a lot of research. I was confused, talking to a lot of people. So that is when this thought emerged ki I have this accessibility and affordability of doing this whole career counseling and guidance, but not everybody does. And I also realized how important it was for me to choose the right thing. I was a bit confused between a lot of things. Commerce lo, science lo, science mein what should I do? Should I do bio? Should I not do bio? Should I do engineering? So there's a lot of things and a lot of options available today. And I was really confused at that time. So I was working these things out for myself, and that is when while having a discussion with my father, it just emerged, since we are also connected to the rural background, we also come from a village, and other than that our business is associated with the rural India. So we're always connected to that part. So it just emerged that we are getting this kind of facility, but what about them? And since it was so important for me and it proved to be really essential in shaping my career, so why not give something of that sort to them? So after my 10th board exams, while we were going through this whole process, we came up with GeoLife Youth Club. And GeoLife is associated with a lot of farmers, indirectly, directly. And we wanted to see if we can help the children of these farmers in some way by guiding them, by doing a career counseling session with them, as a way of giving back to those who are in association with us. So that is how it started in 2017.
2017. Wow. Great.
Yes.
Great. So you actually believe in affordable holistic education, which I believe is the core principle behind your GeoLife Youth Club also. So just in brief, how many states currently you guys are working in? Do you have got volunteers with you? How do you function basically? What's your main criteria of functioning in various regions, across the country?
Okay, so in terms of the number of states, we have had students from about more than 10 states till now, and these batches, they happen for a period of time. So after one student has been completely trained, one batch is completely trained, we switch over to a new batch. If they want further assistance, we're always there, but the number of topics that we have planned to cover, once that is over, we switch to a new batch. So like that, currently we're working in, I think, 3 states, and going to start for a 4th state very soon, but for now 3 states. But before that, we've worked for about 10 states in total, students from different states. So that is how we're associated with a lot of people, but at the moment about 3 to 4 states. And about the functioning of the club, so we have 6 departments in the club. Initially, it just started with me and another person from HR who was just helping me out by connecting me with other students. And what we did is, within our contacts, we had a lot of people from different professional backgrounds. Suppose we have somebody who's an advocate, we have somebody who's a doctor, we have somebody who's a CA. So a lot of people from different career. We also have somebody in the army, a general, major. So we have a lot of connections. So we thought of using these connections. We spoke to a lot of people within our contacts, and we asked them if it was okay for them to talk to a student about their professional career, their whole experience, what kind of work they're doing, to explain to the student how it functions, and then he can decide for himself if he's actually interested in that career. Because students do not have a lot of knowledge about the actual working, the actual professionalism, the actual corporate work. They just know कि ये पढ़ाई होती है, ये करना होता है, but what exactly consumes, that has to be shared with them. So we started doing that, and we also guided them. Suppose if a student tells me that he is interested to become a doctor, so what is the procedure? You're supposed to give the NEET exam, then you're supposed to prepare for something else, depending upon his interest and what options he can have as a specialization. So somebody has to be there to guide him. So we thought, why not invite people who are actually working in these careers, in these professions, to guide these students one-on-one, on a call or a video call, so they understand. And if a student requires more than once to be spoken to the mentor, then we do it again, like a conference call. So that is how we started doing with the limited contacts that we had and students that GeoLife was associated with through the farmers. Later on, during the lockdown last year, since I had a lot of time in my hand, I structured this whole thing a bit. I thought, why not expand from career counseling to other things that are important, like personality development, public speaking, mannerisms in the corporate world. So that was again for a little older kids. We started with that. Then dheere dheere we also included useful study habits, the kind of lifestyle you're supposed to have as a student to give your maximum output. And then also, like, career counseling and mentoring is a constant thing. Along with that, we've also included personal hygiene, financial literacy. So we have associated with a few orphanages, girls, and they're on their own after they're 18. They have to leave the orphanage and start working, and earn their living. So they have to learn basics of financial literacy, how they can manage their finances, how they can make money. So we started to include those curriculums as well, as and when we came across different kinds of students from different backgrounds, different NGOs, different schools. Depending upon their background, we realized that there is something else that these students need. There is so some students also need to. So there are some areas where environmental awareness is necessary. So we try to include that aspect, and some students who are a little well-to-do, we try to include activities like composting, making their own compost at home, and spreading this knowledge. For some students, we included basic English speaking skills. For some students, we also included menstrual hygiene. So depending upon the background, and as and when we came across more batches, more students, we studied them, and we realized what all to include for them. And we've included a lot of things now. We've also included everyday life commerce concepts, like what are taxes, how do you pay them. So all these things, banking, insurance, investment. So this is also necessary, which the school does not teach you, but you have to know. I come from a science background. I do not know a lot of these things, but I know that it is important for me to learn. So similarly, all these students also need to learn. So we've included those kind of aspects also in the curriculum. So as and when we started to realize, we started increasing the number of topics. We started to see what kind of topics fits what kind of age group, what kind of students, and that is how we have devised the whole curriculum. And we have helped about more than 300 students at the moment, and we have 200 in the club right now. And from a small age group to from about 6 or 7 years to about 25 years. And we have divided the curriculum based on the age group and based on their understanding level as well. So that is how we grew from one thing that was career counseling to a lot of different aspects to develop them completely. We also conducted debates and general knowledge sessions, a little about current affairs to give them a little insight about these things. Debating skills. So I have a few students who keep telling me कि आपने हमको ये सब सिखाया, अभी हमको डर नहीं लगता है स्टेज पे बात करने को. So a lot of students have fought stage fear because they come from a background that they are a little underconfident. So we have given this platform to them to gain more confidence, to learn new things. So like a whole package, we are trying as much as possible to give them everything that their school cannot give.
That's wonderful. So these students are all from the rural background, from villages.
Yeah, and some also from underprivileged areas of urban India.
Yeah. That's I like the you're saying that you have also initiated personal hygiene for girls. Which is truly commendable. I'll share one of my experiences. I also have a family foundation by the name of Sarakshan Foundation, and quite some time back, we had sponsored. We were wanting to sponsor in an all-girls school in Punjab to renovate or fix up their washrooms over there, right? And also train them about personal hygiene, because this was a government school, so things are very in a very bad shape. Like you said, rural underprivileged kids were there. So the principal over there said, okay, fair enough. So first of all, what we'll do is that we'll, try to renovate the washrooms of the teachers. And it was a big no from us. It was a big no. We said, no, first the students, then we'll work upon the teachers. Because the students are the ones that we were wanting. So I was actually meaning to ask you that thing, but when you said it, it made me feel very, very happy, because as a girl child yourself, this is one of the things which is very, which requires a lot of understanding towards the importance, and also wanting to safeguard their health, in the future.
Yeah.
So that is one thing very great. So Nidhi, which particular states are you currently working across the country?
Right now, majority of our students come from Maharashtra. The second comes from Telangana, third from Karnataka, and we have just taken new students from Bengal.
That's great. So these are now, I mean, I do believe that are these sessions virtual? In the current scenario, they must be virtual, but previously also they were virtual or one-to-one?
So the ones that happened in Bombay were on field because we had a lot of volunteers from Bombay and it was accessible for us to go down there and teach. But now everything is virtual.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah. So, I mean, how do you cope up with the constraints of going through a digital platform? Many of the students may not be having that kind of equipment, a laptop or a basic computer or even a smartphone. So do you have anything on that part to assist these people?
Yes, this brings me to the campaign that we had launched called Digital Omega. So we had collected funds and used devices from other people. We ran a whole campaign and we donated devices to students. So we donated 50 tabs in Akola to one underprivileged school, and now we're currently hoping to deliver about 100 tabs in Hyderabad, close to Hyderabad, very soon in the next month. And other than that, we have installed where the students are located in one place, like an orphanage. We're installing computers and projectors so that they can all use the same device together since they're all living in the same space. So we have installed one. We're in the process of installing the second computer very soon. So we're trying as much as we can, and through other NGOs, we are having a lot of students through other NGOs. So we're also asking them is there any way that they can go on the field and gather the students and use their own laptop or a computer if possible. So we're trying all sorts of means possible. If not that, then we are trying to raise funds from our end and making available some sort of device for the students.
That's wonderful, Nidhi. I'm sure people will be very much interested in knowing more about your club. Would you like to share any experience, any video or anything that may highlight what you are currently doing?
Sure. So just now I spoke about this Digital Omega and how we donated devices. So there is one student who has sent me a video about how she is so happy and how she's going to benefit from the device. So I would just like to share her testimony.
Sure, please do.
Can you please enable screen sharing for me?
Yeah, there you.
Okay, thank you. Is the screen visible?
Yeah, it is. It is.
थैंक यू सो मच, आपने हमें ये अपॉर्चुनिटी दी. हम इस अपॉर्चुनिटी को नक्की गोल्ड में कन्वर्ट करेंगे. आपको थैंक यू सो मच. अब हम भी आपने जो हमें वो संधि दी है, हम इस संधि का सोना करेंगे. आपने हमें कुछ अच्छा करने का एक मौका दिया है, क्योंकि हमारे स्तर के लोगों में मतलब इतनी क्या कहते हैं उसे, उसमें डेवलपमेंट नहीं है इतनी, या लोगों में उतना ये नहीं है, तो इस अवेयरनेस नहीं है. इसलिए आपने हमें टैब दिया, उससे हम कुछ अच्छा सीखेंगे और आपको नक्की मतलब उस पर गर्व कराएंगे. थैंक यू.
So this is one of the students to whom we have donated our devices, and through these devices they are conducting their school as well as sessions with GYC.
Yeah, and the way that girl was talking, that girl student was talking, it was amazing. The confidence in her group.
Yeah.
And that is one thing that you initially shared, that personality development, shedding stage fear. I mean, that's really commendable. One question I'd like to ask you is now that you go into career counseling with these kids and, personality development, personal hygiene, things like that. GeoLife is basically connected with the farmers, right? And currently, we all know in the country that very few kids want to go into agriculture. until unless given a choice. I mean, if they have a choice, they would not want to go into agriculture, right?
Yeah.
And recently, I was in a village nearby Baramati a couple of years back during a project on pomegranate. And there I saw incidentally a mechanical engineer working along with his farmer, with his father in the pomegranate orchard, right? And he wanted to pursue MBA, and at that point of time, and his father was encouraging him, but the other way around, he was also helping his father across. And pomegranates, as you know, in Maharashtra is a huge crop, and also with a huge export potential, which they were doing. So my question to you, Nidhi, is that coming from such a background and interacting with rural kids, do you also, or have you ever come across a kind of experience where a kid would want some kind of guidance on, how to pursue a career in agriculture, or how to improve or help his family improve in, gaining more advancement or getting new technologies in the farming sector?
Yes. So we have had a few students, but one student that I particularly remember, her name is Simran. So she was pursuing BSc Agriculture, and she also sent me a video. I might have to find it now. So she told me that she's very proud of her father because he's a farmer, and she wants to do her best. She wants to study well. She wants to do her best so that she can join him and they can do something together in the field of agriculture. And she feels that this is a way of giving back to Mother Earth and giving back to India by choosing this particular field. She was very happy, and she wanted to know more about this field and how she can excel and what all she can do. So we had guided her for agriculture and studying further in this particular field.
Okay, great. That's nice. So, I mean, since you work more or less within Maharashtra, and I truly appreciate that at your age you have to take care of your studies also, because the one thing which I believe is that you need to make yourself developed before you start going into other issues.
Yeah.
You at times restrain yourselves from or want to do things where you can reach out and do a good job. So one thing again, I'll just come back to the thing is that what kind of normally is the thinking of today's youth on what kind of concerns they have that they approach GeoLife Club with? I mean, is it career oriented? Is it personality oriented? Is it some social concerns or issues that bother them? If you could just share a little bit of that part.
Sure. Okay. So most students, they're divided into two categories. One category who have seen the kind of upbringing they've had, the kind of difficulties they've had to face, and they would want to do something in their life for these kind of people only. So giving back to the kind of environment they come from, the kind of surrounding that they come from. So they're more about a social cause and doing something for these kind of people because of the struggles that they had to face themselves. And the second part, the second category, they come from a background where they've always struggled financially, and their main aim is to somehow earn well for themselves and for their family. So these are the two categories of students that we have seen, and we're trying to guide them. So one of the most important things that GeoLife Youth Club has always done is ethical learning. So whatever you're doing, make sure that ethics are involved. And we try to play games and activities through which we try to explain them the importance of morals, values, and ethics in life, and how you can only grow once you have these skill sets. And by these skill set, I mean values and ethics. So we try to incorporate these kind of things as well, which I don't think any school or any kind of organization does. But for me, I think it's very important. Also raised in a house where I've constantly been taught about these things, and how these things are much more important than any kind of money, any kind of business. So constantly being raised in such a environment, I think it was my duty to pass on the values that I've learned to the fellow students that are associated with me. And I can just share an example with you. So we were playing one activity, we were playing one game with the students, and we divided into 4 groups, and the moral of the game was team building. So since we were divided into 2 groups, they assumed that they're supposed to compete with each other, and that there's only going to be one winner in the game. We constantly told them that you guys have to work together, but you have to win. So what one thing that registered in their mind was winning, not working together. That is a common tendency, you know. So every group concentrated on winning. But the game was designed in such a way that if all 4 teams worked together, then only then they could win. Otherwise, all of the 4 groups are going to be losing. So that is how the game was designed, which they did not understand initially. Later on, after the game was over, we explained them the importance of working together, the importance of unity, the importance of team building. So we try to incorporate such kind of activities and games so that they understand these kind of values that they're supposed to inculcate in themselves in a society to grow together and have peace and harmony all around. We also have a few students from orphanages who have had really harsh backgrounds, harsh family environment, few rescue students. So they do not usually understand how to behave in a social gathering, in a social environment. So we try to bond with them, we try to become friends with them, and we try to teach them how they're supposed to be behaving. We try to understand, and they also try to understand from us. They also become our friends, and they learn from us ki, okay, yes, this is how you're supposed to behave, this is how you're not supposed to behave. So more than so what education means for me is overall development, not just academics, and that is what we have tried to incorporate within the club.
Yeah, that's Nidhi. Thanks for sharing that thing. And what I like is that your father speaks highly about ethics, morality, and that has actually come across. And it's a pleasure to hear it from you also, that you also value the same kind of principles that your father is going through. And yes, working together is one thing that we yet need to learn. And not only, I can openly admit that not only students or the youth, but even us elders to believe, because it's a horse race out there. You know, everybody is wanting to prove themselves, right? Everybody wants that I should be appreciated.
Yes.
And we should not be. You know, we should not be. And I'm sure in your own college life also, you must have seen that wherever there is an interdepartmental kind of activity, the preference comes on to that particular department members rather than the other ones. And this thing I also learned the hard way when I was working as a senior research fellow myself at the Directorate of Pulses Research, where we had to do something with the chemical department, chemistry department, and we were from the bioefficacy doing a project, and the scientists themselves had a huge ego amongst themselves. But as students, as kids, we managed to, be friendly with those scientists, and then they actually taught us on. But it was a harsh thing, things are there. Teamwork is one thing that we need to come across. So Nidhi, not taking much of your time, I know you are a student, and it has been a pleasure talking to you. And we hope that in the near future, we see you grow, your organization grow, and your activities come across. One thing as an elderly, I can assure you is that currently you are working in Maharashtra, Karnataka, West Bengal, Telangana. And one other state you said.
Telangana.
Telangana, right? So in case And this I say with responsibility on behalf of Basai and Krishi Jagran, and also my own foundation, that if you want to replicate your model and work in the states of Punjab, Haryana, which is approachable to us. I belong to Faridabad and NCR, Delhi. So, and I do a lot of work in Punjab and Haryana. So I would be, on behalf of Basai and Krishi Jagran, we would be happy to lend you a hand in extending your activities to Northern India and give you an experience of the kind of social difference or the activity difference you may find of states in Western India, Southern India, and Northern India. There's a huge difference. So with these words, and assuring you that we would love to see you and grow and assure you of our cooperation. Thank you very much, Nidhi. We wish you all the best and God bless you for a bright career. Do well in your education. Make your parents proud. Make us proud. Make the nation proud. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was Vipin Saini from Voice of Basai by Krishi Jagran, and in conversation with Willie Lahoti, who happens to be the founder and the director of Geo Life Youth Club. Till next, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. Thank you very much, Nidhi. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.